Welcome back to Dunkirk Dunes. So I thought I would show off another little batch of painted Axis and Allies units that I had recently finished. And the only reason I hadn't done these before is the China units. The only thing I hadn't done until recently was their Flying Tigers plane. But I just was able to do that this week, and so I figured I could shoot a video of my painted Chinese units. These are actually the very first ones that I did. I did these Chinese infantry before I even did any of the Soviet pieces that I already did a video on. But just kind of show you the whole group here. So we've got infantry, we've got cavalry that we use for BBR, and we've got artillery that I don't know that I've ever seen an artillery on the board, maybe once or twice. It's kind of difficult for China to even have that. The light tanks, that's another BBR thing as well, that China has the opportunity, if the Burma Road is open, that they can have up to 2 light tanks in the entire game. And I don't know that I've ever seen that happen either. And then I've got, of course you only ever need 1, but I went ahead and painted 3 Flying Tigers here. So we'll just kind of do maybe some close-ups. So here are the Chinese infantry. Like I said, these are the very first pieces that I painted, and I can show you some paint colors too that I used for these. There's the cavalry. So the infantry are just they're just the out-of-box infantry. The cavalry are from Historical Board Gaming, as are the artillery. Those are from Historical Board Gaming. And these little light tanks, those are also from Historical Board Gaming. And as are these little P-40s. It's hard to get them to... There you go. That's probably as focused as we're going to get. So there aren't many, Chinese units, but it sure is fun to have them painted. As far as colors, let me just pause this and I'll show you what I was using. So on all of the Chinese pieces, just the base color, other than the planes, I guess, is this. This is what Sired Blood used. It's this green apple, Rust-Oleum. That's kind of my base color on my infantry, on the bases for the cavalry, the riders on the cavalry, the artillery, the tanks. That's what the base color is. On the artillery and the tanks, there's kind of a two-tone color, and I believe this is what I used. It's a Rust-Oleum camouflage color, and it doesn't actually give a color name, but there are maybe 3 different camouflage colors, and this is the one that's kind of a greenish shade to it. And I guess the other thing I could mention on these ones, I did also use, like Sired Blood recommends, and G.I. Joe has a great video about how they both did that, where they dip the pieces in this Minwax honey satin to kind of get a weathered look. I actually did that on kind of as a last step on those infantry, and I believe also on the cavalry. It kind of gives them a weathered, kind of dirty wash kind of an appearance. And I did do a dark green wash, I remember too, on infantry, and I mean, these were the first ones I did. I just did it with some diluted dark green paint. I just added water to it. But then I did do the Minwax Polyurethane after, which is, it works well. You know, it gets in those cracks and crevices and kind of makes things pop a little bit. If I were doing them again now, I don't know that I would use the Minwax just because it's oil-based. It's hard to work with. It works well. It's just, it's messy and it's hard to clean up. But I do like the water-based washes that you can get from the Games Workshop Citadel line. I've got those over here. There's a whole bunch of them, you know, to choose from. You know, there's a couple of green shades, there's a couple of earth tones, flesh tones, there's some black. I mean, there's a lot that you can choose from there, and just experiment, you know, figure out what works for you. So on the planes that I just finished this week, I used this kind of a blackish green. Let's see, yep, black green. This is a Vallejo color, but I used that kind of as my base on the planes, and then I did dry brush over it, I believe with this. This is just a Hauser medium green, and this is just a, you know, $1 or $2 a bottle of craft store paint. I did notice as I was painting, you know, with the Vallejo stuff, that it is noticeably smoother. It just feels that way when it goes on. And the coverage seems to be better too, but it's a subtle difference, you know. I don't know that it's a huge thing. Here's those little planes again, and then the decals are just some that I believe I got them from Historical Board Gaming. There's several places you can get decals, but I like the way they turned out. I think they look nice. The little orange noses, those I just used. This is another Citadel line of paint. This is, the color here is called Evil Sun Scarlet. That seemed to be a good color for the noses, and it's got good coverage. I know reds are kind of hard sometimes. You put some red on and you feel like it's not very opaque, you know. But this one, I liked that one. It seemed to have some good coverage to it. So anyway, I think that's about all I have to say on these Chinese units. There's not much more to say about them. I think happy to have them, you know, kind of fun to have them. So I don't know that I need to keep 3 Flying Tigers. I might end up selling a couple of those. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching.